That's why I became a Ludology detective and how I met the Systemic Gang.
But did the Systemic Gang kill the theory that playing violent games makes people violent in real life?
It may be some sort of systemic gang activity, but if so, it's a racket I don't know about. We can rule out simple publication bias, where only papers with a certain point of view get published in journals. There have been published articles in reputable journals arguing against the theory since at least the 1990s.
Are you telling me the researchers have been gunning for violent gameplay for 30 years?
At least.
Well, that changes the job.
How's that?
We're not looking for who wanted to kill violent gameplay. There are too many who have taken a shot and missed. We're looking for who has the power to pull it off.
Confession time. I have some experience with the Systemic Gang. Not in traditionally published journal articles. To my knowledge, every article I've ever had rejected got bumped for the traditional reasons of being too weird or too flimsy. But this even happens on YouTube. Allow me a digression. I originally planned to start this channel very differently. I ran a quick study on avatar use in Magic Arena Brawl to try and establish the portion of men and women that play online. There are some interesting things to say about that. Do women prefer playing in the safe environment of an app with limited communication and a mute button? My impression was that I played against a lot of female avatars, which would indicate that there were a lot of female identifying players online. The idea was to do a series of videos on different aspects of doing that sort of study. However, you haven't seen that study. Why? Quite simply, the results were not interesting enough. No, that's being a little too nice to myself. They actually disagreed with what I wanted them to say. I expected a clear majority of avatars to be female. That was my general feeling from being a player. But what I actually found was about half and half, with a lean towards males. If this indicated that about half the online players were female, that would be news. But the literature indicates that men are much more likely to use female avatars than women are likely to use male avatars. If the behind-the-screen split in gender is about 50-50, you would expect more like 2/3 of avatars to be female. So I scrapped it. Instead of publishing a null result, I just made a whole different video. That's the power of systemic publication bias. It takes an enormous amount of effort to think of a research question, do the study, write it up, send it out for publication, check it, distribute it. It's easy to just not do the next step. Most research never gets wide publication. But if the results go against the winds of the researcher's instincts and the previously published literature, then it is likely to become becalmed and forgotten. It's not good, but it's hard to say that it's unethical. It's just how life goes. Thanks for listening to Empirically Good. Next time, join me for a groovy episode about the P-Hacker.